Have you ever walked out of the salon, glanced in the mirror, and just frozen? Like, wait, this can't be right. You asked for something fresh, maybe a little lift, and somehow walked out looking sharper in all the wrong ways. If you're over 60, the wrong cut doesn't just fall flat. It can add years you never asked for. But here's the thing. You don't need to go shorter. You need to go smarter. Because confidence starts with a cut that actually feels like you. Hair isn't just about style. It's about how you show up in the world. And after 60, that message changes. You want a look that says, I'm confident I've lived and I still love how I look. But somewhere along the way we were told that going super short was the answer. For many women it's not. The wrong shortcut can feel like it strips away softness, personality, and identity. So let's talk about what actually works and how to ask for it. Let's talk about the real issue. It's not short hair. It's getting the wrong kind of short. As we get older, our hair changes. It thins out, the texture shifts, and suddenly what used to work just doesn't. But many stylists still reach for the same tools, the same angles, the same assumptions. They cut too close, too fast, without considering what mature features really need. You leave the salon feeling exposed, harsh, or worse, just invisible. It's frustrating. Not because of vanity, but because you deserve to feel seen. You've earned your experience. Your style should reflect that. So the problem isn't just the haircut. It's not being heard. And that's where we start turning it around with awareness, communication, and choices that actually fit you. Let's start with the number one question I get asked by women over 60. How short is too short? And honestly, it depends, but one thing's clear. A lot of us are going too short too fast, without considering what our faces really need at this stage of life. Now, here's something that might surprise you. The most flattering length for women over 60 usually falls somewhere between your chin and your collarbone. That's the zone. The sweet spot. Not too cropped, not too long, just enough to frame your face and soften your features. It helps balance out strong jawlines, hides sagging at the jaw or neck, and brings attention back to the eyes and smile. Think about this. When your hair hits around chin length or just below, you've got room to play with shape. You can add gentle layers to create volume at the crown. You can sweep bangs to one side or tuck pieces behind your ears for a softer look. You're not boxed in the way super short cuts can feel. You've got options. I remember a woman named Lillian who emailed me. She was 72 and wore her hair in a close pixie for over a decade. She said, "It was easy, but I never felt like me." Her daughter convinced her to try a jaw-length bob. And when she did, she said it was like looking at an older version of her younger self in a good way. She felt elegant again. Feminine. Seen. Here's the key. Length gives you flexibility. When your hair's too short, especially around the ears and nape, you lose that. You lose softness. You lose the ability to adjust based on how you feel that day. And let's be honest, none of us feels the same every day. Sometimes you want a little polish. Sometimes you want a little fun. The right length gives you both. Also, don't underestimate what that extra inch or two can do. It can mean the difference between your glasses sitting naturally or pulling awkwardly against your temples. It can help your hair look fuller if it's thinning, especially when layered gently at the crown or sides. It adds movement, bounce, and even that light-catching shine that shorter cuts often lose. Now, this doesn't mean you have to avoid short hair altogether. Not at all. A soft pixie with longer layers on top, and some length around the ears and neckline? Beautiful. But the moment you start chopping everything down to the scalp, that's where the trouble usually starts. If you're going to cut, go in with a plan. Bring reference photos, realistic ones that match your hair type. Tell your stylist you want something that moves, something soft, something that still feels like you. Say it out loud. I want a cut that lifts me up, not cuts me off. Because that's the goal. You want a look that reflects the life you've lived, the confidence you've earned, and the softness you still carry. Hair is personal, and the right length can make all the difference. So, before you go shorter just because you think you should, pause. Permit yourself to choose what actually makes you feel strong, beautiful, and most importantly, seen. Let's talk about what often goes wrong at the salon, and why so many women walk out thinking, this isn't what I wanted. The truth is, a lot of stylists just don't understand aging hair. It's not their fault necessarily. Most beauty schools focus on trends and youthful cuts. They're trained to layer, razor, and texturize. But when your hair is finer, grayer, or thinning in certain areas, those techniques can backfire fast. One of the biggest mistakes: cutting too close around the temples. For women over 60, this area can start to thin or recede slightly. A tight crop there doesn't hide it, it highlights it. It draws the eye to something most of us would rather soften, not showcase. Another issue is volume, or rather, the lack of it. Some stylists flatten the crown, thinking it looks sleek. But for mature faces, that often just makes the head look smaller and the face appear longer. We need a lift. We need movement. We need hair that balances and shapes, not shrinks and sharpens. And then there's the texture trap. Over-texturizing can take a full head of hair and make it look wispy, weak, and overdone. You walk in hoping to feel lighter. You walk out looking like someone thinned out your confidence. I heard from a woman named Janice who said, "I showed my stylist a picture of a layered bob, and I left with something that looked like a chopped salad." Her stylist had thinned it out so much that her scalp was visible under indoor lighting. She didn't feel refreshed. She felt exposed. The worst part? Most of these mistakes aren't intentional. They're just automatic. Stylists go on autopilot. They don't stop to ask, "What's her hair texture like now? What's changed since last year?" They don't always take time to listen. And that's where we come in. Because once you understand the common pitfalls, you can steer the conversation. You can say, "Please don't cut too close here," or "I need volume at the top." Those little phrases can save you weeks of regret. Remember, a good cut should never overpower you. It should feel like an extension of who you are. When someone sees you, they shouldn't notice the haircut first. They should notice you looking rested, lifted, and radiant. That's what the right cut can do. So what's the lesson? Speak up before the scissors come out. Be specific. Say what you've liked and what you've hated. Bring a photo not just of a style but of a feeling. This made me feel polished. This made me feel invisible. Because you deserve a stylist who listens. You deserve a look that reflects the vibrant, evolving woman you are. And you deserve to walk out of that salon feeling more like yourself, not less. No more shrinking into the chair. No more silent disappointment. It's your hair, your life, your story. Let's make sure your next cut tells it right. And if your stylist doesn't ask the right questions, ask them yourself. Say, "What's your plan for keeping fullness at the crown?" Or can we talk about how this cut will grow out? The more you ask, the more you stay in control. Let's talk about one of the most important parts of getting a great haircut. And it has nothing to do with scissors. It's about communication. You could walk into the best salon in town, but if your stylist doesn't understand what you're really asking for, you might still leave disappointed. That's why learning how to talk to your stylist is just as important as choosing the right style. First things first, be clear. Not aggressive, not apologetic, just clear. Instead of saying, "I just want something short," try saying, "I want a soft, layered cut that frames my face and keeps volume at the top." Use simple, direct words. Soft, natural, voluminous. Not too short on the sides, movement and face framing. Bring photos. And I mean real, practical examples. Not celebrity red carpet hair that took 3 hours to style with a glam team. Find looks on people with similar face shapes, hair texture, and age range. Better yet, bring a photo of yourself on a day when your hair felt really good. Say, "This is me feeling like me." A woman named Carol once told me, "I kept saying I wanted a bob, and my stylist kept giving me a chin helmet." The problem? She never said she wanted movement or tapering. When she finally added, "I want something that moves when I walk," everything changed. The stylist adjusted the cut. Carol felt like herself again. Here's something that helps. Describe how you want to feel after the haircut. Say, "I want to feel fresh, light, a little elegant." Or, "I want to feel confident, not overexposed." That emotional cue helps your stylist understand the vibe you're going for. Also, don't be afraid to say what you don't want. If you've had a bad experience, share it. "Last time, the back was too short and I felt self-conscious." That helps avoid repeating past mistakes. And timing matters. Don't wait until the end of the cut to speak up. If something feels off halfway through, say so. It's easier to course correct than fix it afterward. If you're not sure what something means, ask. If they say, "We'll do a little texturizing," ask, "What will that look like on my hair?" It's your right to know what's happening before the scissors start flying. One more thing, make sure your stylist is listening. If they brush off your concerns or make you feel like you're being difficult for speaking up, it might be time to find someone new. You deserve respect in that chair. And remember, you're not just getting a haircut. You're creating a look that represents your life, your energy, and the way you want to move through the world. So take the time. Be specific. Bring visuals. Speak with confidence. And never forget, you're allowed to guide the process. Because at the end of the day, this is about you feeling your best. A great haircut starts with a great conversation. And you are more than worth that conversation. Let's talk face shapes. Because here's the thing, what looks amazing on one woman might feel off on another. And most of the time it has less to do with age and more to do with shape and proportion. The cut that frames your face just right? That's the one that makes you feel instantly more polished, more confident, more like yourself. So where do we start? By identifying your face shape. Go stand in front of the mirror. Pull your hair back, grab a lipstick or eyeliner, and trace the outline of your face. Step back and look. Is it round, oval, square, heart-shaped, or long? Knowing your shape helps you choose a cut that enhances your best features and softens the rest. Let's say you have a round face. The goal here is to add a little height on top and keep some length at the sides. This helps elongate your face slightly and gives balance. Think soft layers at the crown and a few pieces that graze the cheeks. Now, if your face is more square, strong jaw, broad forehead, you'll want a cut that softens those angles. Go for longer layers, maybe a side-swept bang. You want curves, not sharp lines. Avoid super straight styles that make everything feel blocky. Oval face? Lucky you. This shape can pull off just about anything. But that doesn't mean go wild. Still consider texture, volume, and where the length hits. A mid-length bob with volume at the sides is usually a winner. If your face is long or narrow, you'll want to create width. Add volume at the sides. A bob that ends at the chin with layers around the cheeks works beautifully. Avoid cuts with too much height on top. They'll just make your face look longer. And then there's the heart-shaped face. Wider at the top, narrower at the chin. Here, side parts and chin-length cuts can help balance things out. Layered ends that flip outward slightly also give a really nice harmony to the jawline. What's important is this. Your haircut shouldn't fight your face. It should complement it. It should work with your natural structure to highlight your favorite features. And sometimes it's the subtlest changes, a half-inch shorter, a bit more lift, that make the biggest difference. I remember Linda, a woman in her late 60s, who always wore her hair in a sleek straight bob. It looked fine, but something always felt off. Then one day, her stylist suggested adding just a bit of lift at the crown and tapering the ends slightly inward. That 5-minute adjustment changed everything. She said, "I finally feel like the haircut matches my face." So don't be afraid to experiment. But do it with intention. Talk with your stylist. Say, "Here's my face shape. What cut would balance it out?" Ask about where the length will fall, how it will move, and how it'll grow out over time. At the end of the day, the best haircut for your face is the one that helps you walk taller, smile bigger, and feel more like the woman you've always been. Because beauty isn't about erasing who you are. It's about bringing it into focus. Managing gray or thinning hair after 60 is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. It's the moment you stop chasing your 25-year-old hair and start working with what you've got today. And believe it or not, when you lean into that shift, your hair can become one of your best features. First, let's talk texture. As we age, hair naturally becomes finer. It might not hold volume the way it used to. That doesn't mean you need to cut it all off. In fact, shortcuts that are too tight or too flat can make thin hair look even thinner. Instead, the goal is to build the soft structure. Think layers, not jagged or choppy, but gently placed to create lift and movement. A woman named Sandra once told me, "Every time I cut my hair short, I thought I'd look fresher, but it just made my scalp show more." That's because too many stylists over-texturize, thinking they're creating shape. What are they really doing? Making hair look stringy and sparse. So what works better? Try keeping a little length at the sides and crown. This gives the illusion of fullness. Ask for feathered or angled layers that fall softly, rather than sharp lines that draw attention to thin spots. Volume at the roots, especially around the crown, can bring balance to the whole face. Now let's talk color. If your hair is fully gray, congratulations. That silver is your crown. But even natural gray needs depth. A few low lights or subtle highlights can bring back dimension and sparkle. And if your hair has gone a bit dull, a gloss treatment can make it shine again without a full dye job. One mistake I see a lot: women are going super short, thinking it's the only way to manage thinning hair. But when you remove too much length, you also remove options. You lose the ability to style, to tuck, to flip, to soften. Instead, embrace styles that give you a bit of control back. A soft layered bob. A pixie with longer pieces on top and sides. Something that still gives you motion even on a no makeup running errands kind of day. And please stop hiding your part. Own it. If you have a visible part line, try styling to the side or using a root powder that blends naturally. Confidence comes not from hiding but from choosing. Choosing to show up, gray hair and all, with a style that reflects your spirit. One client said, "The moment I stopped chasing thickness and started styling for softness, I felt beautiful again." That's it. That's the heart of this. You don't need more hair to look good. You just need to work with the hair you have. Shape it, support it, and most of all celebrate it. Because your hair isn't fading, it's evolving. And with the right approach, it can be just as expressive, just as radiant as it ever was. So next time you sit in that chair, ask for movement, ask for softness, and ask for a style that makes you feel like you again. Because that's what really matters. Now let's be honest. Some women rock a super short cut. And if you're one of them, more power to you. But here's the catch. It's not just about the length. It's about intention. Going ultra short after 60 can be bold, stylish, and empowering. But only when it works with your features, your personality, and your lifestyle. It should feel like an extension of you, not like something someone talked you into because it's easier. Take Jamie Lee Curtis, for example. Her cropped silver cut is iconic. Why? Because it matches her energy. It's polished but edgy, low maintenance but not lazy. That style works for her because it's deliberate, it's consistent, and it shows confidence. But here's what you don't see. She styles it. Even a shortcut needs shape, product, and intention. If you go super short thinking it'll be no fuss, you might end up frustrated when it actually requires more upkeep to stay sharp and balanced. And then there's the question of proportion. If you have sharp cheekbones, a defined jawline, or expressive eyes, a short cut can highlight all of that beautifully. But if you have softer features, or areas you prefer to keep subtle, a harsh cut can do the opposite. One woman I spoke with, named Ruth, said she always thought short hair would make her look younger. So she went for it, cropped close at the back, trimmed tight around the ears. But instead of feeling fresh, she felt naked. She told me, "I looked in the mirror and didn't see myself. I saw someone else. Someone louder." That's the thing. A great haircut shouldn't make you feel like a stranger to yourself. It should feel familiar but elevated. So, how do you know if super short is right for you? First, ask yourself, does this reflect how I feel inside? Do I want to make a statement? Or do I want to feel more like me? Try on wigs, use a virtual app, or even pin your hair back for a day and see how it feels. And remember, you can ease into it. Start with a shorter bob, then a soft pixie. Work your way toward shorter over time if it feels right. There's no race. You don't owe anyone a makeover. You owe yourself honesty and comfort. Also, think about your wardrobe, your makeup routine, and your glasses. Super short hair changes the way everything else looks too. So consider the full picture. Your style isn't just one haircut. It's all the pieces working together. Bottom line? A super short cut can absolutely work after 60. It can be liberating, elegant, and even sexy. But only if it reflects you. Your energy. Your expression. Your chapter. So before you go for the big chop, take a breath. Do it because you want to, not because someone said you should. And if you do leap, own it. Wear it with pride, with polish, and with your head held high. Because confidence isn't about the length of your hair. It's about the truth behind your choice. There's something powerful about that moment in the salon when the stylist turns your chair around, you lock eyes with yourself in the mirror, and you just know it feels right. It's not about looking younger. It's about feeling seen. Feeling aligned. One woman wrote to me, "I grew out my super short pixie by just 2 inches, and suddenly I looked like I'd been on vacation. People kept asking if I'd lost weight or changed my skincare. But really, I just found a cut that fit me." That's the real beauty of getting it right. The way your eyes light up. The way you walk is a little taller. The way your smile lingers a few seconds longer. Because when your haircut matches your energy, when it lifts instead of limits, you show up in the world as the most honest, radiant version of yourself. And that moment, that feeling, it's everything. And it's completely yours to claim. Let's end with something real. Your hair is not just about how you look. It is about how you live. It is how you greet the world each morning. It is how you carry the years you've earned. You don't have to follow every trend or shrink into someone else's idea of age appropriate. You get to decide what reflects your strength, your softness, your story. Whether it is a soft bob, a strong pixie, or something in between, the most important thing is that you love how it makes you feel. Because beauty at this stage of life isn't about hiding. It is about showing up fully and being proud of everything that got you here. If this video helped you see your hair in a new light, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. We're building a space where women over 60 feel seen, celebrated, and heard. Drop your hair story in the comments. Maybe it was a cut that changed everything, or one you're still recovering from. Either way, you're not alone. Your experience matters, and your voice might be exactly what another woman needs to hear today.